that trail that we've been driving on was actually an old logging road. Right? It's a big history of logging in this area. In fact, most of this hillside and all around Worcester was logged somewhere around here from about 50 to 70 years ago. If you look out across the valley over that evil sunshine, you can kind of see on this first hill just over on the right that there's a line about halfway along it. And there's some low trees on the lower part of the line, really tall trees on the upper part of the mountain. And then there's all those yellow zigzag lines through all the small. So basically, guys, all these yellow lines are actually old logging roads. So if we were on the other side of the valley, that's what our trail would look like. It's kind of nice. All right. Through the 1970s, this was actually a huge mine. It covered about 10,000 hectares. Huge, seriously.
What did they mine for?
Huh?
What did they mine for?
Gold! There's no gold here. Don't bother. Yeah, it shut down in the 70s because the price of gold dropped. It was no longer profitable for what they're doing here. And even though the company still has license to operate here, it's very unlikely that they're ever going to come back. They took all their equipment away, kind of an expensive thing to do in the 70s because really there's not enough gold to make a profit here anymore. This lake just behind us here is a man-made lake from the operation of the gold mine. It was at one point a tailings pond, but they set it up real smart. See the bank that we're on right here and up in front of us? You can tell it's not a very natural thing. They dammed this up to create the lake. But it also has a natural pump system within that hillside up in front of us. So even though there's been no one operating here for 40 odd years, any sediments have settled very nicely down into the bottom of the lake, and that natural pump system keeps refreshing the water. So this lake is actually clean enough to drink. Crazy, isn't it? There's a couple of people who come up here and a couple different organizations that test the water every summer. It's pretty cool. It's actually cleaner than some cities' drinking water, which is awesome. It's a really nice spot to take a swim. It's kind of warm today. You want to go for a swim?
Yeah.
You can if you want to. And the really nice hot days of summer when it's often like 30 degrees up here, this is a great place to come out on our tours. Straight up to the lake, everybody runs in, and then the rest of the tour, you're just feeling refreshed and lovely. By the end of the tour, you dried off because it's so hot, right? But you never get sticky, yucky hot. Good. Really good spot. Cool.
By chunks of me. You're a shark.
So one thing you might not know about this area is it's actually a rainforest. It's a coastal temperate rainforest, which explains the puddles around. Pretty lucky it's not raining right now because it's kind of the season for it. So I'm happy about that. But we do get a very large level of precipitation, which of course we're famous for in the winter. Snow. Lots of snow. This area, Callahan Valley, Sprout Mountain there, we're actually one mountain range closer to the ocean than Whistler, right? The town of Whistler and Blackhawk Mountain. And because of that, we're closer to the rainfall, right? All the clouds moving inland. They dump their precipitation as they move inland. So we actually get more precipitation here, just one mountain range closer to the ocean than Whistler. It's a significant difference, about 30–40% more. So an average snowfall of 50 feet out here over the winter. It's pretty sweet. I don't know how much rainfall there is in the summer. No one really wants to count that, right? But the coastal temperate rainforest here is pretty special. It's one of the rarest forest ecosystems in the world. It covers just 0.1% of the Earth's surface. So what's left goes down the coast of Alaska, down the coast of BC. There's big stands left in Chile and a little bit left in New Zealand as well. So BC as a province actually has 25% in the whole world. It's pretty cool. And most of the trees around here are actually one of 3 species. So have a look around. We've got Douglas firs, cedar trees, and this big guy right to my your left there is a nice example of a Douglas fir. Their bark is kind of like armor. It can be up to a foot thick around the base of the tree. So really, really thick. It's actually one of those things that protects it from fire. So if there's a forest fire in the area, the last tree to survive will be dead. Cedar trees have a very distinctive kind of leaf to them and bark. There's one just tucked in the middle here. It has the bark looks like strips that you could just peel off. And the needles on a cedar tree are actually flat, so they're horizontal with the branch. If you think about like a Christmas tree where the needles grow out all the way around the branch, right? Whereas a cedar tree just goes flat. And a hemlock. Hemlocks are easiest to tell because they have something called a lazy leader. And it's the top of the tree. It bends over no matter what age it is. So there's a couple just on this side of the pond. So one of the trees right at the edge of the pond, if you look up, see how the top of it bends over? That's a hemlock tree. Those lots of other ones stick straight up in the air. The First Nations have a really cool story about that. They say that when the forest gods were giving away all the things to the forest, the hemlock slept in and it was late to the meeting. So as a consequence, the forest gods gave them the smallest needles and the smallest cones in the forest. So their seed cones are like the size of popcorn. They're really small. And because of this, the hemlock hangs its head in shame. Right? So it's an easy way to remember what it is. But anyway, these are the kind of trees that you see all around Whistler and around the Vancouver area, like through Stanley Park and stuff as well. So 3 main types of trees that you'd be easy to spot out. Cool. Anyway.
Alone, my flower. Keep my own lovely
Can't think of a better way to spend my birthday.
Barbie stone.
Hey, Davey! A little muddy, but it was fun.